everyone, Jeri Bellini here. Welcome to episode 8 of Texture Tags on Tuesday. I think you're going to enjoy today. At least I hope you will. I wanted to tell you a little bit about it before we get started, and I do talk about it on and off in the video. Firstly, I want to tell you that I did half the video. I did the whole video, right? And it was beautiful and it was fast and it just flowed out of my mouth and it was just lovely and I was so pleased, you know. And then when I went to edit it, I was off the screen for half the video. Oh, I just wanted to cry. So I had moved my thing that holds my camera a couple weeks ago. I forgot I moved it. Okay, I'm like slightly brain damaged. I know, that's what happens when you get older. You forget a lot of stuff and your words especially. So, P.S. make a long story longer. I had to go back and redo the whole section because it was totally off camera. So if I repeat myself, I repeat myself. If I talk too much, I talk too much. That's what you're going to get on this channel. So thank you for understanding. And if you leave me a negative comment, I've decided I'm just going to delete it. All right. Because I've got a few of them the last couple of weeks, which is surprising. I went like 9 months or so without any negative comments. And they're not, let's just say they're not, and I'm going off, the deep end, me and my sidebars. They're not constructive criticisms. They're just nasty. So there we have it. I'm not going to let it bother me. I just wanted to tell you, today's texture tag is going to be Twist and Stitch, I'm calling it. And it's a new form of twine. And there's a gal in my Facebook group, and I wanted to be sure you knew that this was a joint effort between myself and Elizabeth, and she prefers I don't use her last name, but if you're in the Facebook group, you'll know who I'm talking about. And she's awfully sweet, and she's been making fabric twine, and she showed it on our group. We're allowed to post, things, anything you're making. I don't really care what it is. You're allowed to post it. You're just not allowed to post other people's YouTube channels or try to sell something. So she posted her beautiful fabric twine, and a bunch of people said, "What is that? How are you doing that?" And she does not make YouTube videos. So long story short, she tried to send a few clips to a few different people so they would get the idea. And then she, I said something to her about it. And she said, "Could you make a YouTube video?" Are you kidding? I'm happy to. So here's the twine. And I just love it. I made mine in neutrals. I just love it. It's very organic and absolutely very textural. Really, seriously. I just love it. So that's what we're going to do today. And thank you so much, Elizabeth, for sharing and encouraging me and inspiring me to make this video. So let's get started. So when she explained it to me, it's pretty much the way I did this little heart. I just twisted the cloth. And I used wire. She's using string. I don't know if she's using pearl cotton or embroidery floss. I forgot to ask her. But I thought I would grab some of my neutrals. And I make a lot of fabric twine. And I sell it in my Etsy shop. And I use it for a million things too. But a lot of times I'll have a little piece left over. And my fabric twine, when I cut it, it's an inch. So sometimes I'll have these little schnibbies left, and I just haven't had the heart to throw them out. So I'm going to actually try to do Elizabeth's twine method with this, and I'll be back. I'm going to try to start it, and then once I get it started and figured out, then I'll come back and show you exactly how I did it. All right, I'm back today. It's the next day, and I have to tell you, I had to play with this last night, and I had so much fun, and I think I kind of figured it out, what I want to do. So I'm adding to what I did last night. I did contact the original person from my Facebook group. I wound up, I'm not really doing it the way she did it. However, I was talking to her this morning, and she's kind of upped her game too, the way she does it. And she started taking on a few of the techniques that I have used with regular fabric twine. So honestly, between the two of us, we've come up with this really interesting way of making twine. So that being said, you're probably wondering, how is this going to be a texture tag on Tuesday thing? Well, it is going to be, because after I'm finished with this, I'm going to make something with this twine. This is very textured. So I just wanted to tell you before I get started showing you how to make this twine, which if you've had a problem with the twisted cloth twine, and I have a video for that, I'll put it up in the, the window of the video. You can check it out. But a lot of people say they have a problem with the twisting and, getting it together. If you have a problem with that, you might want to try this. It's so simple. And the best part of it is you can use absolutely anything in this. You can use selvages from your, cotton quilters, cotton that you rip off. And I had a whole pile of them around here somewhere. I couldn't find them for the life of me. My room's a huge mess. You can use yarn, I'm discovering. You can use hemp or whatever this is, jute. You can use jute. So I have some yarn in here. I think I showed you in the last clip a piece of seam binding. You can use a skinny little piece of schnivy. So, Brian's been cutting, I think there's probably going to be glare from this, sorry. Brian's been cutting the t-shirt cloth up for bundles, and he, for the kits for the store. And, sometimes he's left when he's straightening things out with these little pieces. So you can use this. I'm just going to throw this in there. And, you can use anything. So, are you excited? Because I'm thinking anything is fair game, and it can be skinny, skinny, skinny. Let me show you another thing that I found that I'm going to use. This, I buy silk ties whenever I see them at the thrift store. I have this one thrift store, you buy that stuff by the pound, and I bought like bags and bags of them. Anyway, when I take them apart, because sometimes I do to use the cloth, this is interfacing in there, and it's on the bias. I couldn't throw it out. You can use that. Let's see what else is in here, because I just want to open up your mind to the very many possibilities. This is a piece of string out of a pair of pants that I took apart. This is just like a yoga pants or something that you tie in the front. So that's this. This is a piece of interfacing that was in one of the coats or jackets or something. I take apart wool sweaters and coats and stuff. This was in there, and I just like the color. Oh, wait till you see this. Okay, so this is a piece of like burlap ribbon. It was like burlap ribbon. So I'm going to use this. Come on. We are going to have the most textured looking twine. All right, you're telling me enough already. Let's get started. So here's another piece of the tie interfacing in a different color. And I just love this little fluffy stuff. So now you want to know how we're going to make the twine. All right. Get some schnivies of whatever. And I am not using anything this thick. It's like generally a 1/2 inch. I threw this one in for color. It could be, less than that. Yeah, it could be less than that. I'll use this, okay, with this ripped whatever edge. I'll use that. So go gather some cloth. I decided to go with white, off-white, because of something that I want to make. But I also started another one. Hold on, I'm going to show you. Because I was experimenting. I wanted to use some of my, I should have said incoming, some of my pieces of cotton that I had cut too thin. So here it is. So this is going to be, variation. It's just going to be random whatever colors. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. All right, what kind of thread do you want to use to... excuse me. Here's the off-white piece that we're going to make. And you can use whatever thread you have on hand, whatever you want to use. So I was fooling around with this dual duty. It's a heavy thread. I was fooling around with that, but I landed on this DMC number 12. Use whatever. It doesn't really matter. The thing is, I had a lot of this, so that's why I chose this. And I'll talk to you as we get started. I don't know, what did I do with my needle? Oh, here it is. I'm using a Bowen size 3 needle. It's a nice sturdy needle. It's long, it's thick, and you can find them in my shop if you're interested. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. We're going to start a brand new piece together. And I'm threading my needle, and I'm doubling the thread. And you'll see why as we get moving. I don't want any tails, that's why. But you'll understand once we start it. So don't make the thread hysterically long when you first start, just because you need to get used to the feeling of what you're doing. And again, you're going to understand all this. So this is maybe, I don't know, two from here to here lengths. Okay. For a minute, I thought I didn't turn the video on. All right, so now I'm just going to set my needle aside. I have a nice sharp scissor here, and we are ready to start. All right, I was so excited. I just watched the clip that I just made. I was so excited. I was moving my hands around a million miles a minute, so I'm really sorry. I'll go slow now and show you. This is the twine, okay? And I love it. I just love it. I feel like it's so textural, and you can use it. You can couch over it on, a piece of slow stitching, and we are going to make something with it, as I said. But the multiple color one too is super fun, but I only did a couple of feet of it, and I stopped because I really wanted to do the off-whites. You can also use trim. I forgot to mention that. Some kind of trim, any kind of trim. Anything stringy, okay? You can use anything stringy. All right, now enough of that. Let's get started. I'm going to set this aside because I want to start from the very beginning with you. Unfortunately, I have to do this entire segment over again, so please forgive me if I repeat myself somewhere along the line or I don't make a whole lot of sense. I apologize ahead of time. But I had recently moved my light, which holds my phone. I moved it up or down, I should say, to do something. And so I was finding I kept going off shot, and yeah, you really didn't need to hear all that, but you did, because this video might be a little disjointed. So I actually forgot that I did that because, I have brain fog all the time. Anyway, let's get started here. So I have a ring light here, and there's a pole attached to, now I put pins here so I won't go past. I have a pole here, and I was playing with this last night on the sofa, and I was using my clipboard that I use, for my regular twine. But I said, I think there's even an easier way. Let me see how it works when I sit at my desk. So I put this around the pole on my desk, and then I attached a safety pin, and I'll show you that in a second because I actually took the camera out of the holder and put it next to me, and that particular clip is fine. So I'm just going to put this right around there and leave it there. But now we're going to start the twine, and we're going to start it on the clipboard. And this time the clipboard is right under the camera. All that blah blah, right? You either love me or you hate me. So now what I'm going to do, I'm using thin-ish pieces. I showed you all the stuff I have. I have a couple of pieces over here I'd like to integrate, which is a piece of yarn that I told you about. And this is t-shirt cloth that maybe I'll integrate while I'm showing you for the second time. Depending on how thick you want the twine, you would use 2 to 3. You could even use more than 3 strips. I am using all my little schnivy pieces that I have. So all my little scraps that I really didn't think I was ever going to have a reason to use. So they're a quarter, half an inch, I would say. My regular fabric twine, when I cut that, I cut it to an inch. So I've got 3 little pieces. This is like a selvage of something. 3 little pieces that I'm going to hold together because I like the thickness of the 3 pieces. So now I have my needle here, and this is a Bowen size 3, and I've got it threaded with this DMC pearl cotton because I have a lot of this. And the thread is doubled, if I already said it, forgive me, with a knot on the end. Okay, and you'll understand why in a little bit. Hopefully I didn't already tell you. So just to get started, I put the 3 layers together. You can put your needle in between the layers so that you don't see the knot if you care to. All right, now you can fold this over if you want to, like this, to get it kind of started. But at this very moment, I'm just going to put another stitch in here so that the knot doesn't pop out through the cloth on me. So 2 stitches, okay? And then I'm going to fold it in half, and getting started with any project is a little bit of a problem. So I'm actually kind of like rolling it a little bit just to get it started. And I'm going to just wrap my thread around it and pull it tight. Okay, and I'm just going to do a little bit, like an inch or something. And at this moment, I'm not worrying about the 3, things. I'm just going to do that. Now, I would just want enough to get it under my clipboard. So now, just to hold everything in place, I'm just going to go back into this twine, and sometimes I need the a firm surface to push the needle through, or I always have a chain nose plier handy, but my room is such a disaster. I don't know where anything is at the moment. So now once I have that, I'm going to put it under my clipboard, and I'm going to double check that we're in frame. Yes, we are. Okay. And now I don't trust anything. So now I have these 3 pieces. You can fool around with this. And when I say fool around, I mean, you can twist this if you want to, and then just move it over here. You can do a little braid. You can do nothing. You can just hold it and hold it together. So whatever you decide to do, now you're going to wrap your thread around what you just, pinched. Let's call it pinching. Okay. And don't forget to pull it tight. When you wrap it and pull it, it's keeping everything firm. And that is why I have my thread doubled. Okay, let's stop for a second and talk about that. I have my thread doubled because when I first tried this and I didn't have it doubled, the needle kept flying off the end. So that's why I double it. So take that into consideration when you're choosing your thread. You really want to double it. Otherwise, you have to just keep stopping and putting the needle back on. And that's that's a headache. Now, this looks like a little labor intensive, correct? Yes. And so what I decided was, if I attach this, now I actually have this clipboard at this point. It's moved down a little bit closer to me. It is leaning against my stomach now, so it's not going to really move. Now, every so many wraps, especially when you're first starting, just run your needle right through everything, just to hold everything together. Okay, that's one thing you want to do. Now, you're going to continue wrapping. And every so often, I just take these three things, these three strands, and I move them around. So I'm not seeing the same ones all the time. Okay, and just, you can twist them, like I said, you can just do a little bit of a braid and then just keep doing this. Whichever way you want to pull this around. Now I find when I use my finger, so there, and then I use that finger, it's my longest one, to just kind of pull it around, because I'm using these two fingers to hold this, right? Now, I also, one of the things I do is I go back, because I like the way that looks, that messy, oops, and it just popped out of there, that messy look, okay? Now, you can go like this also, right? And twist the cloth. I'm giving you like a bunch of different ways to do this, depending on, you know, are you sitting on the couch? Are you sitting on the floor? Are you sitting at a table? But definitely you need some kind of resistance, okay? This clipboard is giving me resistance so that as I pull on this and twist this, and I'm just going to check the, now I'm paranoid. Okay, and then that's it. Okay. All right, now I'm going to show you from a different point of view. Once this gets a little longer, okay, and I can hook it to my table, that's what you're going to see coming up in a minute. Then the whole thing is, you can change it, and it can go so much faster. So you just have to get through a little bit. So before I do that, I'm going to show you, I don't let this thread get too short, because when I'm ending it, I don't bother with a knot. I just push the needle through. Okay, that way, and then I go back the other way. And then I cut it off. And if you let it get too short, it's hard to get the needle because it's such a big needle. I'm going to switch over at this point and show you how I'm doing it without the clipboard and with my piece attached to my table. So first, I'm going to put this safety pin here. Whenever you're going to set this down, just run your needle through the whole thing so that nothing comes out. And I like to do it twice. So now it's not going to untwist on you. You're good, right? Okay. So now I'm going to just put this pin through here. And I'm going to hook it. I'm going to hook it to the shower curtain ring that I have around my thing like that. Okay? Okay, now I'm going to get rid of the clipboard. And this, it looks like I'm in shot. Okay, so now this, I'm still on the table, but when this gets long enough and I'm hanging off the end of the table, that's going to be the clip I'm going to show you. So just do that. And I think while you're still on the table, you can start doing what I want to show you, which is you've got 3 strands. You're going to twist them. So as you're twisting this cloth, you see what's happening. This is just going, it's getting wrapped around. So you don't have to keep flipping this like that, what I was doing like that when you got started. So that's why I like to work with this far enough away from me that I have resistance. So I'm in a wheelie chair, and as it gets longer, I just keep moving my chair back, and I could do like 8 feet. All right, I'm going to stop here and see if when I put this clip with the next one, it makes sense. Okay, now you can see my entire mess here in my on my table, and that's how much I love you. So I went back to my original piece, okay? So it is connected. Let me just turn you just ever so slightly so you can see. See, it's connected on that pole that sits in front of me, and it is got a pin hooked to one of these. It's got a pin hooked to one of these. Okay, you got that? You can use a clamp or anything else you want to use. Now let me just turn, sorry, I just bumped the camera. Just turn you back around a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can get a good look. So I've got 3 pieces of cloth here, okay? And I'm getting ready to need another piece, but for the moment I'm going to show you what I do. So I have a new string of thread here, and I'm just going to go into somewhere into the whole thing so that the knot gets hidden. Okay, so now the knot is up in here, and oh, you're going to love this. Let me see. Let me get ready. I got to get really ready. I got to move back. So now I've got the thread, right? And the needle is hanging on the bottom. I'm just going to drop it down. And now I'm going to just twist. And the thread is just going right around. And once in a while I go back. I go up. And then twist, 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 twist. And now I'm coming to where I'm going to need a new piece here. See, I'm running out. I can go practically down to the very end of that. And yes, this is twisting and it's getting tight. So I don't want to rush through this. That's my dog making that noise. So now I'm getting closer to this little piece here, right? So I don't even have to flip this around anymore, right? Because I'm twisting this. So now I'm going to run my needle, take my needle and run it through all 3 layers so that all the work I just did doesn't untwist. Okay, and I do it twice. You probably don't even have to. Once is probably fine. Okay, so now it's pretty tight. So now I'm going to let it untwist, right? So now I'm ready to do it again. And I'm ready to attach a new piece. So this is the way I attach a new piece. And I try not to, well, that's the same one. We don't want that one. I try not to have it so that there's, 3 pieces the same length. So this is a good piece to attach. It's so ridiculously simple. You can just stitch it like that, put 1 layer on top of the other. Here comes Brian. And then just go in here, behind there. I'm making a video like that. You just want to make sure these are attached. Okay. Till you feel like they're not going to come apart, right? That's not going to come apart. Oh, that's so neat and tidy. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're going to just throw that thread off to the side, and we're going to integrate that piece Okay, and you can cover that up a little bit. Just fool around with it. Every time you do this, it's ever so slightly different. Of course, I keep looking in the camera to make sure you can see me, so it's taking me twice as long. So now you can't even see. I hope you can see that. I feel like I'm close enough to the camera. You can't even see what I just did. So now I'm ready to start twisting with my thread. So you can just do a couple with your hand like that. And remember, it's so nice because your needle's attached. It's not going to fly off and hit you in the face. And now you can start twisting again. Okay, and if you have a little lump or something, just make sure you pull on your string, your thread a little bit. See, look at that. Oh, Elizabeth, I can't wait till you see this. She's probably doing something very similar. We've been chatting about it. And you know what's really fun is, okay, there's a little piece of selvage. It's a little thicker. You can leave that on there or you can cut it off, whatever. What's really fun is she's doing all the colors, right? So her string is really beautiful. She's in our Facebook group, and she posted a picture one day. She decided to sit down and make twine, and she posted a picture of her twine, and everybody lost their mind. So, all right. So I don't go down too much further than this piece of, this much, 6 inches. I just don't like to struggle with the thread. So now I'm just going back in there, and then I do that, twice. And then you can come back the other direction if you want. This isn't going anywhere. Okay, like that. Trim it off. And rethread. Now, see this, I was twisting this, right? So now watch when I let go. See how it just untwists? Untwist it. And we're good. You can overly twist it this way, right? Knowing that in a minute you're going to be twisting it the other way too. You could try that too. I think that would work as well. So, what do you think? I need you to leave me a comment. I think this is amazing. I love it. And I am going to put some on my texture tag. And I'm also going to make something with it. Give me a few minutes and I'll be back. All right, so now because it's texture tags on Tuesday and we're going to put this on our tag, right? I just want to make a little something with this. Now, I am planning on making a scroll for myself, and I have these 2 gorgeous wooden spindles that Brian picked up. And he's got a few more of these, and I've been begging him to put them in the Etsy shop. We'll see what he does. But what I want to do is start a scroll, and I want to put some beautiful things on it. And I, of course, want to wrap the scroll up, and I could use this to wrap the scroll up. You could use this for a book cover. You could use it for a lot of things. But one of the things I was planning on doing was making a little round thing out of it, like a flower. You could make a basket with this too, okay? It's really simple. So I'm just going to make a little round thing. And as I'm making it, I'm going to talk to you. You can do this like you would do a basket, and I have shown you how to do little baskets. I'll put the link up in the description box. All right, so today's video isn't about doing this. So I'm going to send you over to my basket video if you want to know how to make a basket with this. And then I'll just keep doing this until I get a nice little round circle. So my plan is to make this look like a little, some kind of little flower, and then I'm going to put it on my, or something like this. This is going on my tag, but I'm going to make one and put it on my scroll and then do some embroidery around it. So by the way, I've been mentioning this a lot. Jennifer Clouston, she does, I think she calls it snippets, her daily snippets of her daily life. Oh gosh, I can't remember. But if you look up Jennifer Clouston, and I always have her link down below if I mention her. I love her embroidery. I am mesmerized by it, and I have started watching it before I go to bed. It is so calming, and her voice is so calming. I just love her. So I want to make. She does a lot on embroidery hoops, and then she leaves them in hoops, or she takes them out, and she does a lot of beautiful work. But I was thinking of making. See what I'm doing. The snippet roll that I told you about, and doing some of her embroidery techniques. And I have silk ribbon because I used to, I did a lot of crazy quilting, and I have this bin that I want to show you. I'm going to take it out this week and do a yaya and show you all the stuff in my bin. I found all these crazy quilt squares that I had made. But anyway, I have a lot of silk ribbon. I still have it because I never throw anything out. Obviously. I mean, I've been saving selvages and everything. It's ridiculous. So, but you know what? When I want to go do something, I have the supplies. Oh, since we're speaking about Jennifer, oh my gosh, in case she watches this video, she wears this thing on her thumb that she clips the threads with, and oh my gosh, you can't buy it anymore. It was made by Clover, and it's really pretty. She did mention that hers was starting to get a little dull, but let me get rid of this. I found one. Okay. That was an interruption by the dogs. So I found one and ordered it, and I can't wait. I can't wait to get it. I'll be like Jennifer. I'll be clipping off my threads. So I'm just going to keep going around here and make nothing too big. All right. So before I actually glue my piece down, you probably saw my tag that I grabbed for this week. It had a little piece of tissue with some wording on it, and I collaged it. I had collaged it down. Then I just took some craft paint and just kind of smushed it around. Then I used a piece of sandpaper to wipe it back, and then I took my Inktense pencil and just put a little green on there. I wanted a little green background for this. It's supposed to indicate a little bit of a flower. Now, before we get too far with this is the same technique as this flower that I put on my scarf last week. And a couple people asked me to show how to make this, so I am going to do that in a couple days, maybe. I'll show you how to do that. But that's what this is, these little faux leaves. So I'm just going to glue that down, and I'll come back and show you what I wrote on the back. All right, here she is. I think she looks really cute. I think she looks really cute. And let's read the back. So, sorry, this is a little dark. This one was coffee dyed, this tag. So, new cloth twist is, it's a new version of making cloth twist. I think I'm going to call it twist and stitch on the video. And scraps, thin scraps, anything, selvages, yarn, trim, seam binding, jute, interfacing, ribbon. Oh, I forgot to put burlap. Let me put burlap down there because I did use a piece of burlap. Twist and stitch. Any thread. I used pearl cotton size 12. I used a number 3 Bowen needle, and that's it. So that's this week's texture tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I will show you how to do the flower real soon. And I'm going to do a yaya this week and tell you a few things that have been going on. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget, keep moving, just play, no rules. And remember to find something to be grateful for each and every week. And I am in a new gratitude book already. Yes, volume 2, because I filled the other one up. And so if you don't have a gratitude journal, I'll put the link in there for you to see how to make a really super simple one to keep your gratitude handy. I keep it on my desk. So did I finish saying that? Keep moving, just play, no rules, and remember to find something to be grateful for. Maybe I just said it twice. That's okay. Maybe you needed to hear it twice today. And I will see you again really soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.